Hey everybody, Master Sukuri coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Beautiful fall day. Guys, I don't know what to say except thank you. I mentioned last week that something like 90% of podcasts fail within they don't get past 3 episodes, and then even less than that get past like 20 episodes. Welcome to the 20th episode of my Mestre Vibes podcast. Yay! Thank you. Round of applause. Guys, I don't even know how to say thank you. You guys inspire me and keep me motivated and keep me really just focused on doing what I do. Doing this Patreon podcast has just been amazing. I want to catch you guys up a little bit on what's been going on in my life. It's been beyond blessed, and I'm hoping that some of that energy can go out to you guys. Most of the people here know me, so, here we go. My daughter just went yesterday off to the United States to start her college career. She'll be going to junior college and then off to college for a 4-year degree. Her dream is to become a medical doctor, a psychiatrist. So here we go. Hopefully 12 more years of education and hard work. But she's really smart, and she's going to be able to do whatever she wants. So I'm glad that as parents, my wife and I are there to be able to support her in her dreams and aspirations. Also, last Sunday, my son, he just got back. He's 16. He'll be 17 coming up this year, but he got a scholarship for 3 months in Rwanda, Africa. And he's back, and his whole life view has changed. His whole world view has changed, and I can't say how happy I am that he's come back. And then my youngest son is really just being as awesome as ever, finding his foothold and doing his things, and coming, into his young manhood and being just a great guy. How can I, think, just being so lucky. I'm blessed, that I'm healthy, that my wife's healthy, my family's healthy. And when I see a lot of the things on the internet, I see a lot of people complaining about how unfair things are. Growing up, I realized really young, nothing's fair, and if you don't chase after it, you aren't going to get anything. So chase your dreams and chase what you'd like to do. Make your own life. Choose to have good people around you and move forward. My son still got a lot of jet lag, and he's come back with a very powerful notion that he wants to be an entrepreneur and run his own business and grow. So I'll do whatever I can to support him. I got a really wonderful compliment this week, and it just really set the tone for this podcast today. So podcast number 20, Mestre Vibes, one of our supporters here said that they really love the podcast, and they really, they said, wow, Master, you put out so much stuff. You're probably the most productive master they've ever seen. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I feel like I'm lagging behind and not getting a lot of stuff done. So I'll see if I can't motivate myself to get things more organized now that I have a little bit more time. Last week we put out Mestre Vibes Volume 2. It's here on Patreon for all of you guys. Next week I will upload it to DistroKid, which is the service that distributes my music and everything. So that'll be up with the artwork and everything. And that usually takes about a week. So I'm thinking about the second week of November, it should be up and available like on iTunes and Spotify and all those good things. So I'm really glad things are happening and moving forward. Thanks for the support, because really, without you guys, it wouldn't have happened. So let me jump right in. Episode 20, let's talk about what's coming and what I'm getting done, especially for you guys who have a direct interest in all of this. Most importantly, what I got coming up is a new course for everyone, but I recommend it especially for semi-pro and professional people who want to be capoeira teachers professionally, or some people who just like percussion and want to add some percussion, like Afro-Brazilian and capoeira percussion, to the repertoire. So I've got a new percussion course, And that's coming out really soon. I'll be doing videos talking about, just so much stuff that's dear to me. And it's going to be an organized, tested over time to be easy to follow and learn capoeira and Afro-Brazilian percussion music. So I'm doing this because I really feel that a lot of times when I travel, I want to be able to do more with different people, but unless musicians, are involved in the event. Like when I went to Korea last year, my really good friend Dario, a professional Brazilian musician here, brought his Brazilian banjo, and we just, we were able to do so much music and create so much good energy in a very roots Brazilian way, but that's really difficult if people don't know how to play music, percussion. And one other thing is I really, really can't stand wallflowers. Now, what's a wallflower? In capoeira, a wallflower is a person who doesn't, have the ability to join in anything outside of playing capoeira roda, right? So you're playing the game, but they really don't have the level in music to join in playing like anything, like the capoeira orchestra, or if afterwards, like a lot of times, especially with the Brazilians, we tend to do a lot of samba music and a lot of samba singing. Sometimes there's Afro-Brazilian dance. I remember when Rosângela Silvestre came and Contramestre Kalani and I were doing most of the music, even though it was very basic. You got to have a basic understanding. So that's a lot of the stuff that's going in there. So in order to combat wallflowerism, I want people to be able to be more part of what they're doing and understand better how to do things. And this course will bring together my love and the study of capoeira music, including the 6-album production project experience that I have of making the different CDs. And more importantly, there'll be a lot of influence and understanding. In Portuguese, we say dicas, and dicas means like sayings or expressions that I've learned from professional musicians that I've worked with in the artistic community over the last 20 years here, especially in Japan. When I came to Japan, like most people who do capoeira music, they think they really know what they're doing, but a lot of times they really don't have an understanding of how capoeira music works or how music works in general. So this is a really good chance for people who are interested in improving their understanding of capoeira music and Afro-Brazilian percussion. And this will be really good if you want to be somebody who's more involved, more interested, and if you want to be a semi-pro or a professional, what I call a semi-pro or professional capoeira instructor from any level, you really need to have a better solid base. And this is going to bring together all that for you guys. I will share technique, percussion understanding, and how I expressed my heart and soul and passion, especially on my albums of Mestre Vibes 1 and Mestre Vibes 2, which tend to be more percussion oriented and geared versus capoeira music geared. My goal is to help you be musically and professionally comfortable in a professional music setting that involves Brazilian music. I will teach, explain, and show you how to connect capoeira and Afro-Brazilian music and Afro-Brazilian percussion together and in how you do things. This isn't to say that you don't know what you're doing, but it's to say that a lot of times we lack. Well, in my experience, when I'm traveling, a lot of people don't know what they're doing, honestly, and it's not a bad thing. It's a lack of having had the opportunity. And unfortunately, what I see a lot in capoeira is just there's a lot of ego. So a lot of especially like mestres or masters, when they don't know something, they ignore it or shy away from it because they don't want to show that they don't know. Personally, I think that's ridiculous, and you should do the best to keep learning because it's a learning process. So many people say, oh, it's a lifelong learning process, but they never study anything after a while, maybe just learn a new song or whatnot. So really want to talk to you guys a lot about how to not be worried about whether you doing right or wrong, but how to figure it out so that you guys can add all this to your repertoire. Remember, music is the sound of axé. So when you're making capoeira music or Afro-Brazilian percussion, you're really going to be able to feel the energy and really motivate people in a better way. We will cover berimbau, pandero, atabaque, agogó, caixa, repinique, tam-tam, and so much more, all involved from the Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian / percussionist background. We will explore capoeira music, puxada de rede, maculelé, dança Afro-percussion, which is heavily based on Orisha music and the Afro-Brazilian rhythms that were brought over by the African slaves through the transatlantic slave trade. We'll also understand how to be a part of a samba band and a samba reggae band. Just really simple stuff that makes a lot of sense so that you can just feel like, I can do this and I can be a part of it. By the end, you will know how it all works, connects, and be able to teach and organize your own expression of percussion in capoeira and the Afro-Brazilian musical roots of what we love and what we share together. This is going to be a special project for Capoeira Zoador Tribe and $10 supporters and higher because so much work's going into it. However, a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing will eventually have some all at the end or everything coming together, videos and music recordings and stuff, and I'll make those available to everybody. The main course is going to be really fantastic, and it's a dream that I've always had. I've made videos before, but I have a really good sense now of how I want to do this so that you can better understand it. Not just teach the rhythm, but explain and give you experience and practical insight on how it all works together, and maybe even tell some funny stories or some interesting stories so that you can better understand how it works and get a better cultural perspective on how all this works when you bring it together. That takes care of all the, the house cleaning, the things that I need to get done. A couple of people have emailed me and asked to how they can maybe increase their support. Guys, if you want to increase from $3 to $5, $5 to $10, $10 to $25, I mean, wow, thank you. I don't even say, but yeah, you can do that through your Patreon application. Those who are at what they're on at, don't worry. Thank you so much. The best part of this whole thing is I was telling my son the other day when he came back from Africa that the reason I'm really enjoying Patreon more than anything is because it's allowing me to feel as an artist and as a musician, as a creator, as a teacher. It's really easy to feel like you're just throwing water at a wall and that no one's seeing it. And even though people say, "Oh, you get," I saw these 400 views on a video for YouTube, or I got 20 likes. I really feel like, wow. Even people who are doing like $3 donations, I just feel like, wow, I mean, that adds up. At the end of the year, that's a lot. You know what I mean? That's people taking time and money out of their day and to support what I do. So I just really feel blessed with all of you, and thank you so much. As I mentioned from the first day that I started this Patreon thing, it's kind of like, in America, I have a friend, a Mestre Capoeira, and every year he does grant proposals, and he gets money from the government to do what he does. And I've told you guys time and time again that doesn't exist in Japan. There's no way to get any kind of like support. So I've been running this place and doing all this stuff by myself with my wife for, over 20 years. And I just feel like this is like my dream come true of having you guys in the easiest way. You guys are basically, instead of giving to the government taxes or directly giving to an NPO, you're giving to me, and I really appreciate that. I just want to tell you guys that from the heart. Thank you so much. This weekend, are you guys ready? This weekend, the world famous Mestre Sukuri Capoeira Zoador Academy haunted house. Little bit of the budget I took from Patreon to do this community event. As you know, Patreon also is for like I said, it's you guys are like NPO grant. This is what I'm using it for. I bought some new lights and I got some stuff. I will take a special video and we will be doing a haunted house. This year, we have over 120 kids signed up to come through the Academia and be part of our haunted house. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's so important. I've had so many students that are now, they were like, 8 years old, but now they're like 28 to 29. And when I asked them, the parents or something say, oh, the haunted house is too scary. So many kids cry. So many people are like, wow, the kids don't want to go in. And I want to keep it scary because that's what Halloween's all about. I'm an American, that's the way it is. And I realized that a lot of the older kids are like over 18 who have done capoeira with me. They're so grateful and I'm blessed and so happy that they're like, Master, you should have made it scarier. And I'm like, what? Did you say it was too scary? I go, no, it was so scary. But as I got older, I realized that none of my friends here in Japan had those experiences of a haunted house or a lot of the experiences that we have there. Capoeira Zoador Academy is like, there was always so many foreigners and none of the kids here that I have that ever passed through here ever felt like, foreigner, what do you call it? Not racist, but like, so a lot of times Japanese be like, wow, there's so many foreigners, right? There's so many foreigners because they're not used to it. There was there's an article in the newspaper today, and it's interesting. I'll even tell you guys what it says about the population of foreigners here in Japan, because it was interesting. It was done by a researcher here in Japan. Let me see if I can find that for you guys really quick. Here we go. I found it. Okay, so right now, when we talk about foreigners here in Japan, there's a new article that came out on the Mainichi English site. And it is by a researcher at one of the universities. Right now, currently, from China and Taiwan, there are 819,081 Chinese and Taiwanese. So they put them in as Chinese, right? Vietnamese has grown and it's 488,701 Vietnamese. And that's a large reason. Like one thing, if you look at a lot of the manual labor in Japan, especially here in Tokyo, in my personal opinion, I see so many Vietnamese doing the construction and the other jobs that it's just wild. After that is Korean at 436,000, Filipinos at 298,000, Brazilians at 209,417. So this is the data from the national census. Nepalese, Indonesian. Guys, you ready? Are you ready? There are only 60,000 Americans in Japan. I don't know if that includes the people on the military bases or no, it says number of foreign residents in Japan. Okay. Then Thai after that is 56,000 and Peruvians after that at 48,000. But if you think about it, let's say everyone else, so of the 209,000 Brazilians here, from my research and from my thing, I would say 207,000 are here, who are here. Let's give it nice. Out of the 209,000, I doubt 9,000 are non-Japanese descent. Because you have to have a Japanese up to third generation bloodline or you couldn't come to Japan with a visa. So I would say there are very few actually non-Japanese descent Brazilians, which is something that's insane because you almost never see a Japanese descent Brazilian anywhere else in the world, at least in my travels and in things I do. So especially in the Afro-Brazilian community, arts and culture. But yeah, it's insane. You rarely run into people like that. So there's only about 200,000 Japanese descent. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's what the makeup is here. So 60,729 Americans. That's the new census. And I think it's insane because Japan is such a downfall of population growth, right? So it's going to be an interesting year, 2024. I've got so many things planned. So much more is available, and a lot of it is because of you guys. So I'm going to put together something, make a short video, and hopefully let you guys know what's coming up. As always, I use the funds from here to pay for creating events, creating cultural exchange here in Japan, creating music and art things that I do here. And more importantly, I do it, because it costs to do everything, Generally, I don't take anything for my time, maybe a couple of beers here and there. But I really love doing what I do, and you guys inspire me, so thank you so much. There's going to be a lot coming up. We've got the haunted house this weekend. Next month, we've got Paulo de Bas, where he's a really great percussionist. He played on the jazz bass on the Mestre Vibes Volume 1 album, and he's a great student of mine, and I love him with all my heart. And he is going to be doing some vinyl Brazilian DJ night next month, so that'll be amazing. I'm wondering if it's possible somehow to record those and put those out for you guys here on Patreon, so that you guys can hear the music that he played, like a playlist of what he did the whole night. What's coming up after that? We've got a Christmas bazaar that's being organized by my lovely wife on December 2nd, and then a short recess it'll be arts and crafts with a lot of her friends doing stuff here for the community. Then a short recess at the end of the year, because everything closes down here for New Year's. As I mentioned, Christmas here is basically just another holiday. For me, it's very special because Christmas is also my son's birthday. So then a couple of days off for the New Year's, and then I'm back at it, guys. My dream project for next year, depending on how it works out, because as I mentioned before, it's really hard if I go to Thailand, I can't charge what I would need to, or if I go to Taiwan, or if I go to Korea, I can't really charge what I need to pay for my time and energy from Tokyo, right? Coming from one of the world's most expensive cities. So I'm hoping that through here and through some other events that I can do, I can get a budget. I would really like post-COVID to be able to go back and do a tour, not only of Asia, including Taiwan, some places in Japan, Korea and Thailand, but I would really like to be able to also hit up the United States and possibly Europe. I know some great people over there, and if I can get the equipment, if I can get everything organized, I would travel with my stuff and I would set it up, and I would really love to do some recordings and help direct, create some really amazing percussion and capoeira music from the different places that I go. More important, I really feel like if I can grow enough Patreon and I can do this project that I want to do, just covering the costs of my time. For example, if I'm gone, I have to pay for Mestre Linguiça to be here. And that adds up. So if I go, for example, to England or Europe, I want to go for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I can visit different places, but I need to be able to cover the classes here. So I'm looking to hopefully get to enough, and I'm going to try to do some other stuff too, so that I can organize it all, maybe pre-order and organize a lot of stuff for t-shirts and whatnot, so that I can record people doing music all over Asia, North America, and also in Europe. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done, but that's going to be a big project. It's incredibly expensive to do. I mean, my friend just got a flight to England. It was like 288,000 yen. So that's a lot. That's almost like, I would say like $2,000. So it's getting up there, and I really have a dream to travel next year and to record, and also to do like a mini documentary about, contemporary capoeira and how things are going, so that we can prepare for the future. As always, thank you so much for listening. This 20th episode, I can't wait. It was a lot of house cleaning today, telling you guys technical stuff a million times. I keep saying it, but thank you for all your support. Guys, Mestre Sukuri coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Lots of love, lots of peace, lots of capoeira.